Hey everybody, welcome back to FSi DFS. I'm McKinley 412, looking at the 11 game slate here for Thursday. Before we get started though, please hit that subscribe button. It really does help us out, and thank you for all of the positive support that we've had so far along this season. If you want to come and join us in our Discord, you could always use the code POWERPLAY. Get a free day of access into the NHL chat. We've had a couple of new faces this week, and it's been nice to have them be part of the chat here. So FSiDFS.com, there's a subscriptions tab. You go to the daily package, then just type in coupon code POWERPLAY at checkout, and you'll get free day access. If you don't want to stay around, totally fine with that, but come check us out. Love to have you. So, 11 games and two very large favorites on it. Boston at home against Anaheim and Tampa Bay at home against San Jose. Calgary and Carolina, two other larger favorites. And honestly, for the most part, everything else is a coin flip. I know the odds favor one side or the other, but coin flips, in my opinion, especially in the NHL where anything can happen. Random bounces of the puck occur, and the worst team's going to beat the best team on occasion here. Looking at the projected goalkeepers, and they're just that, again, projected goalkeepers. I think Reimer is the only guy that is confirmed at the time of recording this video, so make sure you are paying attention to that as the day goes on. These numbers in the middle, these are the 2022 save percentage numbers. Obviously, green is good, red is pretty bad. And then we are getting a little bit farther into 2023. We are getting a better sample size for goalkeepers. You'll see some of them are green, some of them are red. The green goalkeepers, they've played or appeared in at least 4 games and have a save percentage over 930, which is elite. I think only 3 goalkeepers, or maybe only 2 goalkeepers, had a save percentage higher than that at all of last season. So Georgiev, he's been the best goaltender in the entire league so far this year. Swayman, not surprising at all. Ottinger, not surprising at all either. He's one of the best goaltenders in the world. And then Binnington, it's kind of been a surprise. St. Louis, not really a team I would think of as being defensively strong, and he struggled last year, but he's done pretty well so far this season. And then the goalies who have really disappointed so far are going to be Connor Hellebuyck, which is a bit of a surprise. You can see he had a 920 save percentage last year. He's one of the best goalies. I'd say he's a top 10 goalie in the entire league. And then you got Campbell for Edmonton, who last year didn't go so well either. So let's look at some of the line stacks here. The top 2, pretty obvious. The top one is going to be, and again, they're not in any order. I don't rank them 1 through 4. There's kind of like where they stick out. And when I'm looking at the slate, Boston was at the top, so Boston went up at the top. So Marchand, Zacha, and Pastrnak. Honestly, we're getting a little bit of a discount on Pastrnak at 9.2K, believe it or not. He's routinely in the mid 9Ks or even higher. And now he's at home where he is just a machine facing off against Anaheim team who's just not strong defensively. So even if you just want to do a one-off on Pastrnak, I would totally understand that. Zacha gives you some value at 5.6K, but realistically, the floor that he has is like 0 or 1.5. It's just the opportunity that he has playing on that top line at home with Pastrnak makes him a really intriguing option. If you want somebody kind of in a similar price range that isn't as weak of a floor as Zacha, you could go with Charlie McAvoy right over here, 6.3K. Defender. He skates on the top power play unit with Pastrnak and Marchand and Zacha. And, he's going to be on the ice at even strength with a lot of them for most of the game, too, as well. So that's kind of Boston. Marchand, he's fine. 7.2K. I think he's priced appropriately. Hedman, Point, and Kucherov. Hedman's a defender. Typically, the left wing on this top line for Tampa Bay is Barboulay. And Barboulay, much like Zacha, just does not really have any floor at all. He did get a goal last game, but still, that's not enough to really change my mind on him. I'd rather go with Hedman at 5.8K. You could also go with Paul, 3.5. He skates on that top power play unit with, I realized I'm missing the power play units. All of them skate on the top power play unit. Along with Paul, you can see here at 3.5 and Stamkos at 7.3. Stamkos skates on that second line, so he probably won't be on the ice too much with these guys at even strength. Paul skates on the third line, but still, Paul's been producing over the past couple of games, and he's actually seen his price go down 600 from 4.1K even after scoring a goal 0-2 the past 3 games, and skating on that top power play unit with Point and Kucherov. San Jose, they allow a lot of shots against. So does Tampa Bay. You can see them over here. San Jose, they're making a case. They're like the worst team in the entire league. I really don't think I'm stepping out of bounds in saying that. They allowed a lot of goals. They don't have the great offense. They're completely. I don't think they're tanking on purpose. Like, they're just bad. Like, that's just what their roster is. So I really like Kucherov and Point. Each of these guys individually have just been dominant so far at home. 4 home games. Each of them have 3 multi-point games in those 4 games, and each have a point at least in all 4 of them. So I really do like this Tampa Bay squad. Going over here to the Rangers, though. Top line for the Rangers, Chris Kreider, Mika Zibanejad, and Kaapo Kakko, one of the more fun names to say in hockey here. But Edmonton, they do not have McDavid. They played their first game without McDavid due to injury on Tuesday against Minnesota, and it was a train wreck. They allowed 7 goals to Minnesota there, and honestly, I expect much of the defensive woes to continue. Edmonton defensively already isn't a great team. Both of their goalies have struggled to start the season as well. And then when you lose a guy like McDavid, you're losing a lot of possession time. Like, when McDavid was on the ice, it was not a guarantee, but like the puck was on his stick. It was in Edmonton's control. Not going to be really the case anymore. You're losing a lot of that possession time, so I do think that Kreider, Zibanejad, and Kakko could possibly take advantage of that. And we're seeing them at pretty cheap, especially Zibanejad at 6.5K. He's normally a guy who's routinely in the 7K plus range, but because he's had a little bit of bad luck, like he's shooting the puck, he's just had some bad bounces. He hasn't really lit up the lamp as much as he would have liked to so far in this young season, so I do like him at that reduced price of 6.5. Chris Kreider, he's more of I'm going to shoot when I know I can score kind of guy, so he does have a limited floor, but still, I think given the opportunity that he has, he's a fine play at 5.7. And then Kaapo Kakko, he doesn't skate on that top power play unit with Kreider or Zibanejad, so if you want to replace Kakko with a guy like Artemi Panarin, I would totally understand that. Panarin does skate on the second line for the Rangers. He's on the left wing below Kreider, but still, there's a chance that he might even swing up there during a long flow of play, but he's also going to be there when they are on that power play unit, which again, Edmonton does struggle on the power play. While we're talking about special teams, let's look at the notable special teams down here. Toronto, very solid power play so far this season. These are the 2023 stats, but Dallas has yet to allow a power play goal so far this season, which is absolutely incredible. I know we're not far into the season, but still, to make it even this far into the season is very impressive to not allow a goal. Tampa Bay, I mean, it's Point, Kucherov, Hedman, Paul, and Stamkos. Already talked about it. They're in a great spot here. The Rangers also in a great spot. And then Ottawa is going to have a nice advantage against that Islanders penalty kill. These obviously are not all of the matchups, but they're the notable ones, the ones that had the biggest gaps between the power play unit and the penalty kill unit that they're going to be facing off against. Last line stack I want to talk about here is going to be DeBrincat, Larkin, and Lucas Raymond. DeBrincat, he is day-to-day. You can see it here. He is fighting a little bit of an illness, according to the coach. We don't know if it's just like a cold. We don't know if it's the flu. What's going on? So make sure you're paying attention to lineups here on Thursday. DeBrincat, 4 games at home. He's got a goal in all 4 of them. He's got 8 goals in total in those 4 home games. Winnipeg, we talked about Hellebuyck earlier. If it is going to be Hellebuyck in net, again, he's just projected at this time. He's not confirmed, but he's really struggled so far this season. More so in the beginning of the season. He's looked better in his past 2 starts, but still, it is something that you do have a little bit of wariness for, especially when you're going up against this Detroit offense. And I put elite question mark because nobody expected this Detroit offense to be this good, but they are, and they continue to do it game after game after game. If you are going to be playing DeBrincat, pair him with Larkin. If you're going to be playing Larkin, pair him with DeBrincat. This point pair, what say you, is the most productive point pair in the league. How do I explain this better? When DeBrincat scores a goal, Larkin having an assist is extremely likely. When Larkin scores a goal, DeBrincat getting an assist is extremely likely, and it's happened the most times with this point pair than any other pair in the league. Hopefully that made a little bit more sense. So let's head over to the individual plays here. Lucas Raymond, real quick, he's fine. 4.2K, very cheap, not much of a floor. But I think I would take Lucas Raymond over Capo Caco if you are doing a full line stack here. Going over to the individual plays, McKinnon at 9.3K. Up at the top, Colorado, they, I think, just broke the record. I think they're at 15 consecutive road victories, which is just bananas. So they're going for 16 on the road at Pittsburgh here. Colorado 6-0-0 on the season, yet to lose, and it does not seem to matter who they face and what play style they play, if it's defensively or whatnot. Colorado's going to be scoring goals, and McKinnon's going to be at the forefront of all that at 9.3. Draisaitl, McDavid is out, so really any flow offensively is going to be going through him essentially in Edmonton. I would much rather get up to McKinnon, 400 more. The Rangers, they're just very stingy defensively. They play this just really annoying 1-3-1 zone, and it's just not fun hockey to watch. It's not fun hockey to play against, and it's really going to be tough to stack anybody against the Rangers over the course of the season here. Roope Hintz for Dallas, 7,000. Dallas is facing off against Toronto. We know Toronto likes to play those high-scoring games. Dallas really does not so much. But I do like this top line for Dallas of Hintz, Pavelski, and Robertson. Malkin, 6.9K. Again, Colorado, kind of like Toronto, they're going to be playing a lot of higher scoring games. However, Georgiev has looked very, very strong in net to start the year. But I don't know. Malkin's been hot. He's been doing really well to start the season. But again, I would rather go up to McKinnon or down to guys like Nelson or Norris or Johansson or Paul. So I'm just going to say here, like Hintz and Malkin and Draisaitl, probably my three least favorite of the guys listed on this sheet here. Nelson, 5.7K, gets on the top line for the Rangers. He gets that top power play unit as well. I feel like there's not much to say here. Facing off against Ottawa. Ottawa looked really defensively against the Sabres on Tuesday night. They actually had to pull their goalie halfway through the game. It was Forsberg who did get pulled, and it honestly projected possibly could be Forsberg again. So if he's in there, could be a little dicey. I could see the Islanders scoring a couple there. Josh Norris on the other side of that game. For Ottawa, 5.5K. Norris, he's only played in 3 games so far this year, but he's got a point in every single one of them, so I think he's fine. He has seen his salary almost double since the start, which, I mean, we kind of projected it to do so. Johansson, 3.6K. He's going to be my favorite cheap center play. He's going to be skating on that top power play unit. Well, he's always been skating on that top power play unit with McKinnon and Rantanen and whatnot. But the thing that did change is that now on the right wing, he's got Mikko Rantanen skating with him on that second line at even strength. So that started off last game, and last game went very well for him with that. So at 3.6K, he's going to be my favorite second center spot here for DFS. Just talked about Rantanen, pairing him with Johansson. Really like him there. Stamkos, again, pairing him with Point, Kucherov, Hedman, any of those power play one guys that you really want to be going with. Konechny, 6.7K for Philadelphia. This is more so he's been doing very well. I think Minnesota could be a little bit sluggish here with all the travel that they have been doing. So it's more so a gut play than anything. I don't have many analytical numbers to back it up, just more of a gut play. If you are in this price range, I'd much rather lean towards Caulfield. But if you're trying to get off of the popular Caulfield, maybe going up to Konechny or even Svechnikov could be a good possibility. Svechnikov, he was on the IR. He's big question marks. I don't know if he's going here, but he's going to be returning any day now, according to the coach. It could be tonight. It could be next week. who knows? It remains to be seen. But Caulfield at home against Columbus, I really do like the top line for Montreal if you do want to go with them. They are a team that has full power play correlation on that top line. So all three top line guys skate at even strength, and they skate on that top power play unit. So really like Caulfield there. Lehkonen, he moved up on that Colorado roster. He's going to be skating on that top line with Nathan MacKinnon. And anytime you're skating with Nathan MacKinnon, you're going to have an interest in my DFS lineup. So, and it's not like he doesn't have any floor at all. Like, he shoots the puck. He can get there. Barzal, kind of with Nelson, I could see this going pretty well for the Islanders if Ottawa's defense continues to struggle. And Barzal, he shoots the puck quite a bit. Kane with McDavid out, just seeing an increased role in everything. He's also going to be bumped up to that top power play unit. Rust, speaking of bumped up to the top power play unit, he's going right up there. So he's on that top line with Crosby, and he was on the second power play unit to start the season, but now he's bumped up to that top one. Anderson, he's with Caulfield on that top line for Montreal. Very cheap, very affordable. And Schwartz is another guy who's very affordable, playing for Seattle, going up against Carolina. And honestly, Carolina does not look like the Stanley Cup favorite that they were to start the season. Yeah, like just defensively, they just look really bad. I don't know what's going on. They also just lost Brett Pesce to injury for surgery. I think it was late last week that actually happened. But still, Schwartz, he shoots the puck, he scores goals, he's able to get on the score sheet. So I think that's fine if you do want to go cheap down here, but get off the probably cheaper more popular cheap option of Anderson. Schwartz could be a nice pivot. In terms of the defense, Makar, 7.9K. The guy's just a forward playing defense. Like, it's unreal what he's able to do. I don't have to talk about that. McAvoy, already talked about him. Bouchard, 6.1K, top power play unit for Edmonton, and really just leading the Edmonton charge offensively from the blue line. Matheson, great floor on him in terms of shots and block shots. Very limited in terms of goals and assists, but he does skate on that top power play unit. Ghost Bear, Shane Gostisbehere. I just like to call him Ghost Bear. It's more fun that way. 4.9K. For Detroit, he could be a guy that you're going to be pairing with DeBrincat and Larkin. If you don't want to go with Lucas Raymond, you could go with Gostisbehere. Moritz Seider was the guy last year who's kind of taking over that role, but they brought in Gostisbehere, and he's been doing very, very well. Sees tons of minutes, gets all the peripheral stats that you would like. So I like him at 4.9K. Uyghur at 5.8. He's got a nice floor as well, especially because Anderson is out for Calgary. He does take more of a responsible role, and he's done well in that role in the 2 games since. Trouba, he just is a block shot machine that can also provide on offense. And then Slavin and Nishke, talked about Brett Pesce is out for Carolina, and the minutes have to go somewhere, and they've gone to these guys a little bit in the 2 games that he has been out. And then, honestly, cheap defense is kind of ugly. Obviously, there's guys that I really like Ferraro for San Jose, but he's seen his salary increase by like 500 or 600 in the past week. Burrows also for San Jose, he's seen his salary increase quite a bit as well. Just trying to think of some other guys. Romanov for the Islanders, he's seen his salary go up quite a bit. So we had a little bit of an advantage to start the season with those cheap defenders, but DK's figuring it out, and they're raising those guys there. And then down here you can see where the full lines that also correlate fully on the power play. So Boston, both their top 2 lines do correlate perfectly on the power play unit. Winnipeg, they're cheap. Connor, Iafallo, Scheifele, Dallas, they're going to be very expensive though. Montreal's cheap, Seattle's cheap. Detroit, already talked about them. And yeah, so that's kind of where the slate breaks down. Hopefully it was helpful in guiding you kind of in the right direction. So thank you all Thank you again for watching. Once again, we will be back for another preview slate tomorrow on Friday. But until then, good luck in your contests, and we'll see you in the next one.